it. It's a little toasty fall. We'll handle it, though. We can handle it. We're strong, right, Mama? All right. It's time for our segment, Ask the Moms. Let's go ahead and introduce you to our panel of lovely mamas. Right next to me here, we have Dr. Melinda Silva. We have Mary Burt Godwin of the Mama Mary Show, and on the far side, Dr. Rachel Goldenhar. Ladies, good to be with you.
Good morning.
All right, let's get to our first question.
I have a question about stranger danger. My 3-year-old loves to introduce herself to people in the park, in stores, and parking lots. Sometimes she just says her first name, and sometimes she gives her full name. And I'm just curious, what's the best way to introduce the idea of stranger danger to a 3-year-old?
And this is a great question, Rachel, because I feel like we kind of send mixed messages sometimes to our kids. We're like, don't talk to strangers. But yet when we encounter one, we're like, say hey, be friendly.
Yes. Well, the simplest explanation for a child, and at 3, they're really young. It's hard for them to understand the concept of a stranger. It's usually around 4 that they really start to get it. But even at 3, you should start to explain that a stranger is someone you don't know or that mommy or daddy don't know. But when mommy or daddy are with you, then it's a little bit different because you're with mommy or daddy or another adult.
Okay.
So, but when they're by themselves, let's say at the park, and you're sitting by yourself and your child is playing over there, they should know that they should never ever talk to a stranger, never go with a stranger. And sometimes children will think that a stranger looks like a villain on a cartoon, and let them know that that's not true. They can be very, very nice. And you can play that.
Handy.
Yes, and you want to play that what if game, and you can say, what if someone comes up to you and says, I lost my kitty, can you please help me find my kitty? Or want to come in my house and have some candy? They should know that they should say no, run away, go to the adult they're with and tell them right away. And also know that there are safe strangers too, like firefighters, teachers, police officers, and it's okay for them to get help from those strangers. But
when we're at like Legoland or a theme park, I always say, if you get lost, go find somebody with a badge so that you know somebody that you can trust. And it's also, somebody told me once to know, teach your kid a stranger is someone, have they been over for dinner? Do you know their first name? Do you know something about them? And that's how you can kind of gauge whether or not they're a stranger or not.
Gotcha.
Yes, and it's really important to role them, because if you tell a child something, they might not remember it. So just say, okay, what are you going to say if somebody grabs you, if we get separated in the store? What are you going to say if an adult touches you you don't know? You could say, help, this is not my daddy, or this is not my mommy.
Yeah.
You don't run away. So that
You
they
even
know.
want to practice
Practice it. You role play it, and make sure you repeat it to them before they go, like you go to Disneyland or somewhere where they can get separated.
they say no, go, yell, tell.
Yeah.
You say no, run away, go, yell, so you draw attention, and tell the adult right away.
Oh, I've never heard that.
Yeah.
No, what?
No, go, yell, tell.
Okay, very good stuff. I learned a lot just now. Let's go ahead and get to our next question.
Hi, my question is how to transfer our toddler away from her crib into a new room with a full-size bed.
Big step.
Yes.
My first thing would be to wait until they're 3 if you can. I know some kids start jumping out of their cribs, some boys and active kids start jumping out, so you have to transfer them. But if they are staying in their crib, then let them stay till about 3, because that's when they can start to know that they need to stay in their bed. Also, I would say not to do it around another time of change, like you're moving or it looks like this mom is pregnant, so either well before the baby's born or well after the baby's born, like 2 to 3 months, I would say, so that it's not around another time of change. Because I know I tried to move my second daughter into her bed, and also I took away her binky, and one other thing happened, and she started having night terrors, and there was all this change in her life. It was too much. So I would say just one change at a time, and if they have a routine, like a normal bedtime routine for the crib, keep it the same for the toddler bed. Do everything the same and try to make it everything the same they've normally been doing.
You can start moving in their belongings into that new room so they can feel comfortable playing in there and start to feel comfortable hanging out there, and then have them help pick out the new bed, the new bedding.
Yes, that's a good one.
Get super excited, and when the bed arrives, they're so excited to sleep in their new room. And if they're a little scared, I like the 5-minute rule. Say, I'll check on you in 5 minutes, and then leave, and then come back and check, and eventually, after a while, they're going to naturally fall asleep.
Yeah.
And so after they've made it through the night, yay, you did it! You slept in your new room.
Yeah,
and you just continue that.
And don't lead on that it might be scary for them. Just be like, this is going to be so great, and be really positive, and they're going to be excited about
If
it.
they're afraid, though, you could put the bed at the same place where their crib was.
Yes,
so that they find
good
that
idea.
sense of security, right? And have them, maybe they had a baby blanket that was in their crib, put it in their toddler bed, so they have something that they relate to. So it's a transition period.
Something
because
familiar.
some kids don't want to move into the big bed.
Another time that we do this, not today, but I want to get your tips on getting rid of the binky, because I dreamed that day that I know
I got a question.
I'm
All right, let's get to our last question.
I have an 8-year-old son that's a really picky eater, and I'm trying to get some ideas on how to get him to eat his veggies.
All right.
Wow, this could
Universal
be
question.
really challenging. There's actually a phobia to new foods called neophobia, which is common between 2 and 5-year-olds. And they usually, most of them will outgrow it, but about 25% of the kids don't outgrow it. And the experts don't really like the term picky eaters. They like to call them selective eaters. Because there's some texture that is just not nice and smells that are just not nice to kids. And just a general rule for parents, yes, like they don't like the look or the feel of the little trees when it touches their tongue. But just what I like to do, my favorite way to introduce vegetables to kids is put it in a smoothie. Because you could put spinach with strawberries and they don't even taste the spinach, right? So you disguise the food in a different way for them that they don't recognize.
Well, my daughter loves pasta, and I gave her spinach tortellini, and she loved that. And so I said, see, you like spinach, it's in there. But she would never eat spinach by itself. It has to be in there. Or you can load it into lasagnas or sauces. I think
I go for the big ranch, hummus.
Whatever dip they
apple
like.
cider vinegar on cucumbers. My kids think it's candy. They love it. It's like, and trying different kinds because there's so many different types of vegetables.
Even Greek yogurt, right? Putting it, doing it with Greek yogurt. The one thing that I will like to say though is that if there's some abnormality where there might either be developmental delays, where kids that don't really want to eat other foods, there might be some other things going on. So the one thing I like to check is if they're following their growth curve. If they're losing weight, then they need to follow up with a doctor or a specialist that can help them with nutrition. If they're gaining weight appropriately and they're pretty much healthy without any issues, then I'm not so concerned about it.
Yeah. Ladies, thank you. Good stuff as always. My dog and my son are in cahoots with the food he doesn't like, and there's very few things he doesn't like, but what he does is he'll take it, and he'll go like this, and he'll look at me, and he'll drop it. I'll go get it. Man, we got to break him of that habit. We got to break him of that one.
All right. Thank you, ladies. Still ahead on Fox